Hello everyone, welcome back to the Geek Speak Geek podcast. We are your hosts, Movie Master Mike.
And Tabletop Tim.
We are back and better than ever, and this week we are going to do something a little different. We don't have a movie to talk about per se, so I thought this would be a good chance for us to just let the listeners get to know us a little bit. So we ask each other some questions, favorites, things like that.
Just so a little centerfold interview?
Yeah, exactly, a little centerfold interview. Yeah, just get to know us a little bit. But before we get into that, obviously we have board games, two little board games to talk about. They're little card games you play. We'll get into it, but they weren't just traditional board games where you roll any dice or place any pieces or anything. Loads of fun, lots of laughs, so that'll be fun to talk about. But and a little bit of board game news, and then just a few bit of movie news. So let's get right into that. The biggest thing was the Doctor Strange trailer.
I just watched it. It's all going to be magic, not technology like you were.
Yeah, thank God. Yes, thank God, because they turned Thor into just alien technology, basically.
Right.
So I'm so glad that they're doing magic and not just they're like, oh, he can control nanobites or something So I'm really glad that it looks like midi-chlorians. I'm really glad that they're going full on magic. And I watched the trailer a couple of times. And I looked at some comments and people were saying oh, it's like The Matrix meets Inception, because there's a whole bend the reality, and it shows him New York City's all different angles and stuff.
Right.
So people are like, oh, it's Inception, and meets The Matrix, because the whole dojo thing.
Yeah, that thing with Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, who's awesome. I love that she's in this.
It's pretty. It seems like it's derivative of a lot of things, but that's a preview for you. I mean,
yeah.
There's probably deeper concepts they're getting into in the film that it's hard to portray in a preview.
Right. I like when it shows him in a tuxedo looking like James Bond, because everyone wants him to play James Bond.
Right.
And he goes up to the window and kind of places his hand on the window, and then it cuts to him after the accident, where he's looking like a bum and his hands are all fucked up, and he does the same thing up to the same window, kind of puts his hand there, so it's kind of mirror images of each other. That was cool. They did that twice with another scene, but I think Benedict Cumberbatch is a great choice for Doctor Strange. I think he's going to do a good job. I almost don't want him to do an American accent. I want him to use his British accent.
You want him to be British, huh?
Yeah, he's one of those characters I don't care if he's British.
Right.
Make him British, who cares? You cast an awesome British actor, make him British. It was weird.
I think people are sick of British wizards.
Yeah,
the whole Harry Potter thing. Let's get an American wizard in there.
Yeah, and there's a Merlin show where Merlin's a kid on the BBC or something.
Huh?
Yeah, but it was weird, in the preview, hearing him talk without his...
British? Oh yeah, BBC.
Yeah.
See? British wizards everywhere.
Yeah.
You're lousy with British wizards.
But hearing him with an American accent was just kind of weird. I was like, what? Is that really him talking? Mm-hmm. It's really strange.
Well, he is an actor.
Yeah, I know. But, what is his name? Is it Mads Mikkelsen or Mads Mikkelsen?
I think it's Mads Mikkelsen.
Mikkelsen, okay. He's in this.
He's going to be it. I didn't see what part he was playing, but we did see Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah. I'm not sure what role he's going to be playing. I'm not super familiar with the Doctor Strange universe.
Yeah, neither am I. I know the basics, and I think I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Ejiofor? Is that how you say his first name?
Chiwetel Ejiofor?
Chiwetel?
Yeah.
Okay, him. I know he's playing he's supposed to be next in line to become Sorcerer Supreme.
Okay.
Or at least he thinks. But then Stephen Strange comes in, and he's actually going to be the Sorcerer Supreme. So he gets mad and becomes kind of the villain.
I see.
So he's probably going to be playing
edged out by the shiny new protege.
Yeah, exactly. So first he's going to be kind of come on in, we'll teach you everything. And he's like, I'm next in line. They're like, oh no, actually, you're next in line. Fuck you, fuck this, and he becomes a bad guy.
And comes before the fall.
And then Mads Mikkelsen looks like a villain. He always just looks like a villain.
That's just. I think it's just his face.
Yeah, and he's got weird eye makeup where it looks like the skin around his eyes is crumbling, and there's lava behind it almost.
Oh.
And from some photos that I saw, so he looks like a villain, but he might just be one of those other students there that he ends up teaming with, because I know there are other sorcerers and stuff. It's not just Stephen Strange and what's his name.
There's probably Doctor Strange fans out there just screaming at us.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it.
So we're gonna plead ignorance on this one.
Yeah, I think he's super interesting. I never read any of his comics. I watched the animated movie that came out like 2009 or something.
Right.
So that's what I'm basing all of this on, is is that animated movie.
That one cartoon.
Yeah, and it's basically it's the Doctor Strange story. He's a surgeon, gets in an accident, can't use his hands, travels the world to find his new meaning in life, and becomes Sorcerer Supreme. What's his name's character goes from good to bad and stuff. So it should be the same basic story. I mean, you can't change the origin story too much. You can update it, like of course they did with Iron Man. Instead of like the Vietnam War, it was the war in Iraq. You update it, so it could change a little bit from that cartoon, but I can't imagine it changes drastically. No. Like they just throw things out the window, like, oh, he's not going to become a sorcerer at all. Like so, it's going to be basically the same. But
he's a line chef supreme.
Line chef, that's great. But Doctor Strange, it looks good. I'm super excited. Tilda Swinton looks awesome with a bald head.
Oh yeah, she's always awesome. I'm always excited about what she's going to be in.
Yeah. All right, well, moving to the next bit of news, Spider-Man, the MCU Spider-Man, which Sony has allowed the Marvel Universe to use Spider-Man, and not just in their other movies like Captain America Civil War, or bring him in for the Doctor Strange movie or whatever. He's getting his own standalone movie, which we've known for a while that he's going to get his own, but now we have the title. And it is Spider-Man Homecoming.
Homecoming.
Which I think is a fucking terrible name. I think it's terrible. I mean, you could have called it like Web of Spider-Man or Spectacular Spider-Man or anything. But Spider-Man Homecoming?
You think it's like a play on words because he's like coming to the Marvel universe?
That's probably what it is. Yeah.
Homecoming.
And he's still in high school. It probably has to do with his homecoming dance or something.
It's probably a homecoming dance thing.
But yeah, it's probably he's back with Marvel. It's his homecoming, but it's just I think it's so stupid for a movie.
Yeah,
maybe the animated movie, which they announced like last year that they're making an animated Spider-Man movie. Sony is. So this is going to be the Marvel Studios movie, featuring Sony's Spider-Man. But then Sony is going to be releasing an animated Spider-Man movie that has nothing to do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, yeah,
as far as I know,
money.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're only making half the money with the MCU Spider-Man. So, but yeah, Homecoming. I just think that would fit better with the animated movie than a live-action movie.
It's a pretty weak title.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know anything about the story. It looks like they're eyeballing Michael Keaton for the villain role.
Yeah, that was my next bit of news. Was Michael Keaton is being eyeballed for the villain, and it's probably going to be the Vulture. Because he's a thin, older, balding man.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I know Sam Raimi wanted to do the Vulture in Spider-Man 3, and they said no. It's like, okay, Sandman. He's like, but Spider-Man 4, it's going to be the Vulture. But, he never made that movie.
Right. Vulture, I don't know if I can get behind that. I mean, he's a classic Spider-Man villain. Translating that to film,
yeah.
I think that should be like a 5-minute sequence, like the Rhino...
The opening sequence in Amazing Spider-Man 2?
In Amazing Spider-Man. Just just a homage to the original.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
I don't want to see a whole movie about the Vulture.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't think anybody does.
I don't know. I'd rather see a good Hobgoblin film. Like, we've already seen the Green Goblin. We've kind of seen the Hobgoblin in Spider-Man 3. Meh. But
no, not really.
It's so much better in the comics, and such an interesting character.
Yeah, Spider-Man has so many cool villains. Like I would love for them to do Kraven the Hunter.
Kraven the Hunter would be great.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Who do you want to see play Kraven the Hunter?
Ooh, there could only be one choice: Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler.
Yep.
That makes sense. Yeah. That'd be
he looks just like him.
Yeah, put him in a leopard loincloth.
Yeah, and the
throw
vest.
A lion mane over him, and he's Kraven the Hunter.
Yep, exactly.
Absolutely.
That would be great. All right, well, let's get into some questions. Just going to be some basic questions just to get the people listening to this know us a little bit, because we're just kind of two people on a podcast that they listen to talk about stuff.
Right.
So let's get to know each other. That centerfold spread. I came up with just some questions, and then I'll ask you, and then I'll answer them as well. All right, what is your favorite movie?
My favorite film is There Will Be Blood, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, starring Daniel Day-Lewis.
Fantastic movie.
It's a fantastic film. Daniel Day-Lewis...
He's like the greatest actor there ever was.
I feel like he is the greatest actor there ever was.
Yeah.
And this film, he gets to devour scenery. He gets to... really act. He gets to scream and emote and
murder and all kinds.
Yes.
It's
the pathos of the character is amazing. It's a really great character piece.
It's based on a book, isn't it?
It's vaguely based on a book.
Right. I mean,
it's based on a biography that's, my understanding is really kind of dry, and so PTA kind of...
Right, it's about the guy that created the union. Right, he created unions, so people got a fair day's pay for a fair day's work.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
I know it's based on a book called Oil. I don't know anything about the book.
Yeah, I think that's what it's about.
One thing I do know, though, is that the ending scene, they're filming the Daniel Plainview character in his mansion. It's like 10 years later, he's made his fortune, he's built his mansion, and that mansion is the actual mansion of the person the film is based on.
Oh, nice! That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool. The bowling alley scene, that's like my favorite scene in the whole movie.
That's like,
I'm finished!
I'm finished!
I love that. He just got done bashing the priest's face in. That's awesome.
And that's one of my favorite scenes ever.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember the priest's name. Monday.
Was it Monday?
Eli Monday.
Yeah, okay.
Or is it Sunday?
Ooh,
I think it's Eli Sunday. And he, for some reason, he thinks he can come to Daniel Plainview and ask him for money in this time of crisis. But that just shows the ego and the balls of Eli Sunday,
Yeah.
And what a user he is. I mean, he'll go to any lengths. He'll even go to his enemy and ask for money. And so every character is very rich in this film, and I think it's worth a watch, being my favorite film.
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic movie. I only first watched it just like a year, or no, because it had to have been like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like for my first time watching it, I was just because I remember when it came out in like 2008, I want to say.
I think it was 2007.
Yeah, 2007. Yeah, you're right. And I remember seeing the previews. I was like, man, that looks fucking awesome.
The previews were very, very strange, but I was riveted. So that's my favorite film. How about you, sir?
My favorite film is Jurassic Park.
Nice.
The 1993 blockbuster film by Steven Spielberg. I love that movie. I can watch it nonstop, all day, every day.
I've probably seen that movie more than any other movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because my stepson loved that film.
Ah, okay.
And when he was growing up, we just watched it over and over and over. And like you said, I could just keep watching it. I never got sick of it. It's such a solid film.
Yep. I mean, there are some things, like the T-Rex breaks through the gate, and the ground is at the same level as the street. And then the next scene, it's a huge cliff.
Oh, and they're climbing down?
Yeah, and they're hanging down. The car gets knocked over.
I never really paid attention to that. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there's inconsistencies and stuff, but it's just so good. The cast is perfect. They didn't go for like superstars. They got actors in this movie instead of just mega superstars and stuff, and it's just so good. The music by John Williams is incredible. I love the music in this movie. All of it. I mean, I have the soundtrack to this and the second one, and I just pop it in. It's just so good. Everything about it is so good. It's quotable. The CGI is so good. I have it on Blu-ray, but I don't watch it on Blu-ray.
Well, the CGI is great. But a lot of practical effects were used for that film.
Oh, yeah. Tons of practical effects.
Yeah, which is one thing that really stands the test of time,
Mm-hmm. But I think the CG, for being in 1993, still looks good today.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
I saw it about 6 months ago, and it still looks fantastic.
Yeah, I watched it on Blu-ray, on a high-def TV, and the CG looks more fake on high-def Blu-ray. But if you just watch it on DVD, it still looks fine. A little more grainy, so it kind of blends in a little bit better. But it's been 23 years, and it still looks great. Yeah, it's fun. It's just a fun, smart movie. Dealing with genetics and playing God and should we do it? And I mean, Malcolm pretty much says he's like, you spent so much time figuring out that that you could do it. You didn't stop to think if you should do it. Yeah. So I mean, life finds a way. So that's my favorite movie, Jurassic Park.
And you have like exposition scenes in films that explain what's going on, and that has one of the most entertaining and clever exposition scenes ever.
The dinner scene.
Not the dinner scene. The where they show you how they make the dinosaurs.
Oh, that.
The tour film.
Yep. Yeah. With Mr. DNA.
Yeah, Mr. DNA.
Yep.
That was a super clever way to explain what's going on.
Yeah.
Instead of like the super dry ways like other films and directors tend to explain things.
Yeah, no, I agree. It animated a cartoon, so little kids were like, "Cool cartoon," and you know, so yeah, it was really good. Just the way they did everything in that movie was just so good. What is your favorite movie franchise?
Franchise.
So like, There Will Be Blood isn't really a franchise,
No.
but like Jurassic Park, is a franchise now. So, what is your favorite movie franchise?
So like series of films.
Yes.
Right. I think the Toxic Avenger trilogy.
Really?
I don't know if I have a favorite franchise. Would you call the Marvel films a franchise, or do I have to go with the Avengers specifically? Like, because it's all serialized, right?
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, you can say the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Then I'd say the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I look forward to every one of those films that comes out.
Yeah, they all do look really good. Like even the like Ant-Man, everyone was like, Ant-Man? Who cares about Ant-Man? I liked it.
Ant-Man was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun little movie.
Yeah, I have a big problem with a lot of people. I get angry with them. They say the same thing. Ant-Man. Oh, well, he's an Ant-Man?
Yeah.
Just watch it. It's a good film.
Yeah.
Has Marvel done you wrong yet? Maybe the Hulk.
Thor. No, I like the Hulk. Yeah, well, Ang Lee's Hulk was pre-MCU, so that doesn't matter. Yeah, fuck that movie. But the Incredible Hulk
was still okay.
Yeah,
it wasn't great. You didn't like the Dark World? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Thor: The Dark World was. It had its moments, but overall, it just seemed mopey and bland.
See, I love that film.
Really?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really the big one, and I don't really like Iron Man 3. I like half of Iron Man 2.
Well, Iron Man 3 should have been called Tony Stark.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
there's not a whole lot of Iron Man going on in that film.
Yeah, but then you can think of it like, at the end he says, "I am Iron Man."
Right.
When I'm in the suit or out of the suit, I am Iron Man. There is no difference between when I have a T-shirt on or the suit. That's kind of what they were saying. So Iron Man's in every
scene. I don't give a shit about your semantics, Tony Stark. Put the fucking suit on so I can see you flying around.
Yeah, no, I agree. And half the time when the suit was on screen, he wasn't even fucking in it.
No, that's exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind that they turned a character and like made it like, oh, he's not really what he says he is. He's a drunk actor just doing this for drugs or whatever. It's a gig. That's fine. If you want to do that, even to the Mandarin, so that's okay. You can do whatever. But what they set up as the Mandarin, "You'll never see me coming," like it was fucking awesome. What they were setting up, like
the point.
No, they should have kept it that way because you set up the 10 Rings in the first one. It's like a terrorist organization in the Middle East. So making this guy like a terrorist from the Middle East, like sending these videos, it's like, wow, it fits back with the first one. It's perfect. Sure, the Mandarin isn't this like Chinese like magic wielding. Well, it's not really magic. It's technology from the rings, but it looks like magic. Like sure, like you changed it. You like we said earlier, you updated it for the new world. You made him this like neo-terrorist, but not really. You changed it like, but you set it up so awesomely. It could have been so awesome.
I like the suitery actually.
Oh no, like if
fine.
if it's like I'm saying, like it would be fine if they hadn't made the fake Mandarin, the persona, so fucking cool,
right,
and so like perfect for what they already set up in Iron Man 1.
All right,
so that's why I have such a problem with it. I don't care that they turn the Mandarin into druggy actor doing this for drugs and stuff, but if they didn't make his acting persona character so fucking cool and perfect fitting into what they already set up, it was too good to make that change, that switch.
Okay.
If it was something else, it would have been fine. But they did too good a job making that what they did, and so
then they just took it away from you.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, you guys, you set it up so well, like, so that's why I have a problem with that movie.
All right.
Not that it's like, oh, they changed a character. It's like, well, you can change characters. Who cares? You can do whatever you want, but not that because it was too good.
Okay.
The fake part was too good. But yeah, you said the MCU, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
So how about yourself?
Star Wars.
Okay.
Gotta be Star Wars. I fucking love Star Wars so much, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, even the prequels?
I don't love the prequels. Whenever I go into like Star Wars mode and all I do is watch Star Wars 24/7, it's Star Wars all day, all the time, I watch the prequels. I suffer through it. It's part of it. I don't watch the holiday special because it's...
Holy shit, that movie is hard to watch.
Yeah, it's not Star Wars. It's just weird segments about random stuff that has nothing to do with Star Wars.
If you haven't seen the Star Wars Christmas special...
Holiday special.
Holiday
it's
special.
Not Christmas.
Right.
Holiday.
It's,
Life Day.
Life Day. Fucking Life Day. I'm sure you can track it down on YouTube somewhere. That's where I found it.
Yeah.
It was...
Oh, I have a hard copy.
Nice.
Yeah. But,
come on over to Mike's and you can watch it over here.
Yeah,
that movie is fucking hard to watch.
Yeah, because it's just like a variety show from the late 70s.
Right.
So it's just like there's a section where Chewie's son is watching TV, and it's of somebody cooking. It's like a cooking channel that he's watching. But it's like this weird, like, cross-dressing person going, whip, whip, stir, stir, whip, whip, stir, whip. Like, it's just like, it's so weird. It's like,
it's
what the fuck is happening? It's not even funny. It's... And it lasts way too long. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a part where he's watching TV and it's just somebody like, this is how you put together a radio, and they build a radio for like 25 minutes. It's like, what the fuck is happening? It's so bad.
It's just why the fuck is happening?
Yeah, and then like you keep going back to Chewie's family, his dad, his wife, and his kid. And there's no subtitles. It's just three Wookiees growling at each other.
Right.
And you have no idea what's happening.
And they just do that constantly.
Yeah, oh my god, it's so bad. But Star Wars overall is my favorite thing in the world.
Right.
I grew up in the 90s as a kid, and so I had all the toys because there was a resurgence of Star Wars in the 90s.
Well, I grew up with the original toys in the 80s.
Yeah.
I can stand behind that choice. I mean, I love Star Wars. Maybe it's just so ingrained in me that's just like not the first thing I think of when I think of
favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's the first thing I think of. I have 4 or 5 different versions of it on VHS. I've got 2 different versions on DVD. I have the DVD set that has the unaltered versions on DVD. Even at like used bookstores, it's like $100.
Uh-huh.
So I've got that. I've got the Clone Wars cartoon show, Clone Wars, the micro series cartoon show. I've got the first season of Rebels. Like I have, if you can watch it, like non-video game, if you can pop in a DVD player and watch it, I got it. Like I love Star Wars.
Yeah, I like the original 3.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic.
Force Awakens was amazing. I can't say I love everything Star Wars.
Well, no, obviously the prequels and the holiday special are terrible.
I tried to watch. I like the original miniseries that you were saying for the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm. It was just called Clone Wars.
Clone Wars.
It wasn't the Clone Wars. Just Clone Wars. Yeah, that's amazing. That's fantastic.
Everything after that was just kind of...
I like the Clone Wars, the CG one.
Right.
It starts off a little slow, especially with the movie, which was really just the first couple of episodes, kind of strung together and put on the big screen for no reason. But, the first season, it's like, okay, like the animation is kind of stiff still. But, it went 5 seasons, and there's like a 6th, like, secret season. Like, they never completed it because, Disney bought it, and it was on Nickelodeon. But the animation just gets better and better and better throughout the series, and I like it. There are some really, really awesome storylines in that cartoon show, so I like it. And Rebels, the first season was okay. Second season, I don't have cable, so I can't watch it, like, weekly, but... It looked better than season 1, so I'm interested to get it when it comes out on DVD. But yeah, Star Wars is my absolute favorite franchise.
Not a bad choice.
Yeah. All right, what is your favorite band?
My favorite band?
Yeah.
My musical tastes are very eclectic and liquid.
Okay.
So they kind of move around here and there. So I say this year.
Okay.
This year, my favorite band is a band called Churches.
Okay.
And it's the U is replaced with a V, CHV,
okay,
or whatever. I'm kind of tired of it. But they're I think they only have 2 albums, and they're just fucking amazing. It's kind of electronic music. There's only 3 people. There's a female lead singer, 2 electronic artists.
Okay.
But the music is amazing. I can't get enough of it. I'm going to go to the show, Tempe, on the 24th.
Oh, nice. This month?
This month.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, someone posted that they were going to be in concert like 3 months ago, and I jumped on it as quick as I could. Yeah, because it wasn't part of the original tour, so I wasn't expecting to even be able to see them.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome.
I can't believe I'm going to get to see them. Last year, my favorite band was Purity Ring.
Okay.
It's another female lead singing electronic band.
Nice.
It's only a 2-member band. But I actually went to see their show last year.
Nice.
It's fucking amazing.
Sweet.
It's kind of liquids, moves around.
Yeah. My taste in music and stuff is ever changing. You know, I've gone through phases like it was this style and that style and this band and that band. So, yeah, I get where you're coming from. My all-time favorite band, the Beatles.
The Beatles, okay.
My dad, you know, grew up in the 60s as a kid, so he was a huge Beatles fan his whole life. I was raised on the Beatles. I've gone through deep Beatle mania. Yeah. Like, deep Beatle mania. So
You have all the, studio recordings.
Oh, yeah. I've got all the CDs. I've got the, in, 95 or 6, they came out with, a documentary. It's, 8 hours long. And, I used to watch that, every day, fall asleep to it, and... Yes, they're just my all-time favorite. But my other two all-time favorites are Blind Guardian, which is a power metal band from Germany. They started in the late '80s, and they just did an album last year. They came out with their album, and it's probably going to be their last. But because they are getting old, I actually got to see them at the end of last year in November.
Nice.
Yeah, so because when the album came out, I was like, "Oh, there's going to be a tour. I hope they come to Arizona," and they did. I was like, "I have to see them now," because this is probably going to be their last studio album. They might tour for the next 10 years or whatever, but you never know. So I got to see him. It was fucking amazing. So cool. And then Portishead would be my third favorite band.
Okay, Portishead. I know Portishead.
Yeah, I love Portishead. Female lead singer.
Kind of that 90s synth jazz.
Yeah, they call it trip hop.
Trip hop, right.
It's basically jazz with a hip hop drum beat in the background.
Yeah, that echoey drum beat from the 90s.
Yeah. Yep.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, what happened to that drum beat? I mean, it's kind of dated now.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear that and it's like, oh, I'm in the 90s.
Yeah, but those are my three favorite bands of all time. Those three right there.
Cool.
Yep. All right, what is your favorite video game? We don't talk much about video games on this show. But...
No. I unfortunately, I don't have enough time to follow all the video games we want. It's such a time-consuming... hobby.
Yeah.
And I think I'd rather play board games than
absolutely.
Sit alone and play a video game. Mm-hmm. But I'd have to say my favorite video game, if you really had to nail me down, it'd be Gears of War 3.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's just pretty straight third-person shooter. It's a shoot 'em up. You're shooting generic monster aliens, but it's a lot of fun for me.
Cool.
The guns are very visceral. It's not laser guns. Pew, pew, pew. It's these automatic rifles.
I've only played the first one, Gears of War, so...
Each iteration is pretty much the same as the last. I just like the story of the third one and the multiplayer of the third one. The Horde mode is fantastic. I think I've spent more time doing the Horde mode on Gears of War 3 than anything else entertainment-wise.
Nice.
I've eaten so many hours with that. And it's kind of like Team Fortress. In that way, the Horde mode is that you have... No, what am I thinking of? I'm thinking of the fourth one that has specialist classes. So the third one is just you buy equipment. You can buy...
Have they made 4 Gears of War?
Yeah.
Games? Really? Wow.
And actually the fourth one was a prequel.
Okay.
Gears of War Judgment introduces a class system where you have your medic and your engineer and your sniper.
Okay.
And stuff like that. And it's pretty good, but I like the third one better.
All right.
And it's just empty calories, kind of fun,
Yeah.
And that's why I like it.
Yeah,
it's just mindless fun.
Cool. My favorite video game has got to be Red Dead Redemption. It's the only reason I bought an Xbox 360 on, at the time, next-gen system, because I probably would have never bought one. I'm not a huge gamer. I play some Super Nintendo games more regularly than anything else.
Wow.
I have a PS2, and I do love the Sly Cooper games. I mentioned
in
one of our other shows that I'm super looking forward to the movie that they're coming out with. But Red Dead Redemption, I just love the game. I love the open world. It's like Grand Theft Auto.
Mm-hmm.
But
set
in the West, yeah. But it's actually 1912, so it's not like the Old West, 1880s. Okay. It's kind of more modern, but so at one point there's a car that you ride, and your character's like, this thing can't go any faster. I'll get on a horse and get there faster. He's making fun of the car. But it's just such a good game. The story is phenomenal. You meet all these crazy characters. The one that really sticks out is this crazy dude that's digging up bodies and stuff. He's just this weird dude.
He's a grave robber?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's just such a fun game. Getting all the different guns. You get to this one rifle, which is the best one because it holds 22 bullets at a time, so you don't have to keep reloading, which is super awesome.
Yeah.
The Mauser pistol fucking fires like crazy. It's like an automatic gun, basically. It's super cool. It got me into Western movies.
Okay.
I was never really into the Westerns. Then playing this game, I was like, oh man, like, because I had a friend who was like, oh, this is kind of like this Western movie. This is like they took that from this Western movie. So I went out and bought like 30 Western movies.
Wow.
And, yeah.
So there's a lot of like homages in it.
Oh yeah, tons of homages. Okay. Yep, tons of them. And the graphics it came out in like 2010, I want to say. The graphics are still pretty good. I can only imagine what the graphics were like on the PS4 for like Grand Theft Auto 6 or whatever they're at now. So, but yeah, it's just such a fun game. It's a beautiful game. Going hunting for bears is always scary because they always come out of nowhere. They take a bunch of bullets to kill, then another one comes out of nowhere. There's always two, and
fucking bears.
Yeah, so it's just tons of fun. I love it.
Yeah, my kid loves that game. Unfortunately, I've never played it.
Oh, you should just go around killing people. It's fun.
All right.
Just go to a town and just start shooting.
Yeah, killing people.
Yep. All right. What is your favorite board game? I know you said Bonanza was one of your favorites.
Bonanza is one of my favorites.
Okay, but what is your absolute favorite? You could play one board game.
Right now, my absolute favorite board game is a board game called Forbidden Stars.
Okay.
And it's a Warhammer 40K themed area control combat game. It has a modular board, so it changes a little bit every time. Your home worlds are going to start in different places every time. The map's going to look different every time. It's asymmetrical combat. Each race has their own unique characteristics and figures. What else is about it? Oh, each race has its own combat cards. So each race is going to do something different when they're fighting.
Nice. Cool.
The combat system itself is really clever and fun.
It's more of like a combat game?
Yeah, it's a combat game, and you're trying to take over territories,
right?
To gain planets or objectives. So if you can hold on to an objective planet till the end of your turn, then you'll gain the objective. And usually the first one to like 3 objectives will win the game.
Oh, cool.
And if it's only 3 objectives, you can see how difficult it might be. Like, usually the less objectives or victory points a game will give you, the more difficult it's going to be.
All right.
So there's a lot of tug-of-war, back and forth, battling, and also the board changes throughout the game because you have these borders, but they're just borders that block your movement.
Okay.
And they change.
All right. So you can go to
each level,
different places at different times.
Okay. Yeah, it changes each round. So if you have an objective that you're trying to reach next turn, it might not be available, and you'll have to change your strategy on the fly.
Wow.
So it's very unpredictable in that way also.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's a lot of thinking on your feet, a lot of adaptation, and a lot of animosity, which I really like in a board game. There's always a good amount of yelling going on when we play Forbidden Stars at the shop.
Nice.
And if you like the Warhammer 40K universe, I think this is a great game for you to check out. The miniatures are beautiful, the components are beautiful, and everything about it is awesome.
Sweet.
I can't recommend it enough if you want to get into something deeper that we haven't really talked about yet.
Right, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not the board gamer here, but I probably have to say Puerto Rico.
Ah, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I love Puerto Rico. We used to play it all the time. It was like the go-to game.
Yeah, that seems to be a real starter. I think after people get into Catan and start getting a little deeper into board games, I think Puerto Rico is pretty ubiquitous among starting board gamers, and it's a really great Euro. It's
yeah, it's got awesome mechanics. I haven't played it in at least 10 years, but
bummer.
Yeah,
we'll have to remedy that, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just bought it for Christmas, and
oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's just a fun game. All the different mechanics, like you get sugar and spice or whatever to do things, but yeah, just a fun game. It looks good. You have your player board and the main board and stuff, so you got to pick roles each turn, like you have a prospector and stuff like that, and they each do something different for you.
Yeah, and one thing I really like about that game is kind of jockeying for the roles, waiting for your turn to get what you want. Right. And everyone will get someone out of the role that you pick, but you'll get a bonus for picking that role.
Right.
Generally speaking, everyone will get a piece of that role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just a fun game. Like you said, fairly easy. It's not like a super complicated
no
strategy game, but I would say it's if you go from playing Monopoly to this, you might be like, what the fuck? Like, where are the dice?
It's a new game,
yeah. But yeah, definitely not a super deep game, but
I'd say the strategy is pretty deep. The gameplay is pretty easy to grasp, but mastering it, I think, is a great challenge.
I remember I played with one of my friends from high school, and he didn't play board games like at all. He played like Risk, and so he just, I think it was the Prospector. He just kept picking the Prospector. So that was like just because it got him like 2 gold or whatever every time or whatever. Yeah, so he was just like, oh, just beat the Prospector like every single time. He never ventured out. And
sounds like a bad strategy.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, like I said, like he never ever played board games, so it was really funny. But yeah, that'd probably be my favorite. That and
excellent choice.
I actually really like Hollywood Blockbuster a lot too.
Oh, that's a great game.
Yeah,
that's actually a really good intro game. I introduced my parents to that game.
Oh, okay. Nice.
They picked it up really quick.
Yeah, it's really easy. I love obviously I love movies and stuff, and
yeah,
and like all the actors in it are like caricatures of actual actors. Like Tom Cruise would be like Sean Bruce or something.
They give him funny names.
Yeah,
that are just the worst.
Yeah.
You might think, oh god, those funny names are the worst.
I think it's hilarious. I like there are some that are like they detract from your movie, like Keanu Reeves or whatever.
Keanu Reeves will give you like negative points towards your movie,
which I think is just hilarious. But yeah, that'd be another game because I love the theme, I love the art and stuff, and he's actually a designer that I know because my brother was obsessed with that designer. Yeah, my brother was obsessed with his games. So
yeah, once you start getting into like designers, like Corey Knizia is the designer of Forbidden Stars, and he's designed some of my other favorite games, like Gears of War, the board game.
Oh, nice.
Space Hulk, and a couple other things. I think he did Warcraft, StarCraft.
StarCraft, okay.
The board game, which is also really good.
Yeah, lots of good board games out there. So, but Puerto Rico.
Excellent choice.
Yeah. Who's your favorite superhero or comic book character? I guess it doesn't have to be like a superhero, but your favorite comic book character.
My favorite comic book character. I mean, depending on the run. Generally speaking, I think Spider-Man.
Oh, really? Nice.
I started off collecting comics with Spider-Man, and I've always loved Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I like the concept of Spider-Man. And one of my favorite runs was about 10 years ago, and it was the Straczynski run. I can't remember his name, but he wrote like Babylon 5, and he's written a lot of stuff.
Okay.
But his run was amazing. The art with John Romita Jr.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
All that was just fantastic. I think they really found their groove there, and then they really fucked it up after Civil War. Like, I don't know why they did it. Aunt May got killed, and
lots of weird stuff.
And then
he revealed his identity.
He revealed his identity, so he makes a deal with the devil, and they just wipe everything out. I hate when they do shit like that.
Yeah.
Just follow through with the storyline. Just go where it's gonna go, man.
Yep.
Stop apologizing for. I don't get it. You know, they paint themselves into a corner and they're like, well, I don't know what else. It's too hard to write this now. Let's just start it all over.
Yep.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Everything before that was fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah, I know that the Ultimate Universe, the first X amount of issues of Ultimate Spider-Man were supposed to be super good by Brian Michael Bendis.
Bendis is great.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Brian Michael Bendis.
So his run on Ultimate Spider-Man is supposed to be like super good.
I think everything he does is very good. His new Avengers stuff, some of my favorite comics.
Pretty much everything he touches is pretty good. Like his run on Daredevil, all that stuff. Yeah, he even did Moon Knight. So
yes, and
he put a different spin because Moon Knight's one of my favorites, and he didn't start off as a insane psychopath. He just used different personas to fight crime. Like he had his billionaire. He had his taxi driver, so he could have his ears, on the streets. Like, people take taxis and talk, so he could learn things and figure stuff out. So, but he wasn't split personality. He's like, oh, I'm gonna go, like a spy, like costume up as the taxi driver to go learn where the bad guys are hiding out. So he didn't start off as a crazy person, but then they kind of made him into a split personality person. But Brian Michael Bendis turned his personas into Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Captain America. So he'd be sitting there talking to Wolverine, but Wolverine's not really there. It's just a voice in his head. But it would be Wolverine's personality and stuff. So that's what Brian Michael Bendis did to Moon Knight, which is really cool, really interesting.
Yeah.
So in his head he hears these other superheroes.
Yeah, I like that. I forget who started they kind of rebooted it around the time the Civil War was ending. He started super crazy. Mm-hmm. Like he was talking to his god and
yeah.
I forget who drew that. Finch.
Finch.
Yeah, his stuff was amazing.
Yeah,
it just looked fantastic.
Yeah, Houston and Finch.
Yeah, yep. That reboot was fantastic.
Yeah, it really was. My favorite comic book superhero would probably be Batman.
Batman.
Easy
Love Batman.
Choice. Yeah. Anything you read by Batman is going to be good. I mean, he has like 10 titles, so you know if you want to read a darker Batman, you know there's the darker Batman title. If you want to read more campy, there's that one. If you want to read, you know, just awesome stories, there's there's Batman and Robin. There's all kinds of different Batman titles, and they all have like different themes and so many great storylines throughout the years. The death in the family, death of the family recently, the Nightfall, just all kinds of stuff. Even Batman Beyond comics are pretty good. There's Hush. There's just so many. You know, the Killing Joke, like A Long Halloween, like it just goes on and on. Like all these comics are just so good. I mean, his character is just so awesome, and all the different places he's been to, like character wise, just super good, awesome. So.
Yeah, I agree. One of the first comics I ever picked up was The Dark Knight Returns.
Nice.
I found it at Bookman's. It's a used bookstore in Tucson.
Right.
And I just kind of picked it up on a whim, and it blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, you'll never find that at Bookman's ever again.
No.
No, now that it's like so popular, yeah, it'll never be.
Well, this one I was like 12? 13?
Yeah, see, like people
25 years ago.
Yeah, I noticed just like 3 years ago going to Bookman's, they had way more trade paperbacks.
Yeah.
You know, of like good stories. But now, you know, you'll go there and it's just like slim pickings. Okay, here's one. If you had to write for a comic book character, just one, like a 12-issue run, who would you write for?
If I had to write for a comic book character.
Yeah. Not an insanely long story arc, but not a short one either. Just a good, solid story. Or, you know, however many it takes, like we talked about the Netflix shows. However many issues it takes to tell the story, whatever you're telling, that amount of issues for one character. Who would you write for?
Shit, that's hard.
Yeah, because mine probably isn't going to be Batman.
No. And another thing is I'm not a writer.
Well, yeah, neither am I. Yeah, neither am I. But if I could, because like, I love the idea of writing. I can come up with ideas for stories, but I'm not a writer. I can't write dialogue and plot progression and all that stuff. I'm not, you know, good like that. But if I had to, if they gave me the chance and, you know, whatever.
You know, what I really like is like hard-boiled cop stories. I think I'd be decent at writing something like that.
Okay.
I think I'd like to write a Jim Gordon story.
Nice. That would be awesome.
I think before he's a commissioner, like Batman Year One.
Right, okay.
Like when he's finding his feet as a cop.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to do something like that if I were to write a story.
Would you make it like when he was still in Chicago before he moves?
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, because then there would be like no Batman, and no supervillains at all. It would just be straight up Jim. Yeah. So yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Because that's actually really popular. People thought that the Gotham show was going to be Gotham PD, the book, where it's just a cop book that just happens to be set into the Batman universe. But yeah, that would be really sweet. You know, I would have to say, I'd probably have to say Moon Knight. Yeah. Because it's dark and he's a crime fighter like Batman, but you can take it into some weird, crazy, bizarre. Crazy. Yeah, you can take it to some weird, crazy, bizarre places. So that would be fun to write because you could do Batman type things. You know, because he's a guy in a cape and cowl, just like Batman. You know,
he's a billionaire.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, he's pretty much Marvel's Batman. But he's way more crazy. But I might even take it back to where before he was, you know, actual split personality psychopath, and make it just, you know, the Jake Lockley cab driver and stuff like that, and maybe. But yeah, I think I could come up with some cool stuff happening to Moon Knight. And as long as you get Finch doing the art, because that guy's art is fucking insanely good. Yeah, I think I could do that. Yeah, okay, what is your favorite comic book movie?
Favorite comic book movie?
Yeah. Doesn't have to be, again, superhero, because there are, like, I think we've talked about things that are based on comic books. Right. Like Red. That's not really a superhero, but it's based on a comic book.
Based on a comic book.
So, comic book movie.
I'd have to say Zack Snyder's Watchmen.
Nice, okay.
Extended cut. I like that better than the Avengers. I like that better than any of the Marvel films. As a film on its own, it's fucking amazing. The character, like, it's hard enough taking an ensemble cast and turning that into something interesting. But he really, like, isolates each character. And, you know, it's based off of a strong product and to begin with, Alan Moore's Watchmen. But it's just, it's fleshed out on the screen so well. It's just an amazing watch. I've said before on this podcast that I can watch the director's cut.
Right, yeah.
Almost 4-hour film of this and not get sick of it.
Yeah, I've not read the book, but from what I understand, like, he changed the beginning where you actually see the death of the comedian, because the book starts off he's already dead.
Yeah. So
this, you actually get to see him, you know, being killed, which is an awesome action sequence set to that awesome song.
Yeah.
Unforgettable, which is unforgettable. And he changed the end and there's no giant squid.
Right, no squid. Yeah. Which is why I really like the film, because taking that out was a fucking genius move.
Yeah.
The way they set up the end, I mean, it was almost exactly the comic book. They tweaked it a little bit and made it even better. Like, taking out that squid monster was perfect.
Yeah, I can't imagine that ending with a squid monster. That would just be like, where did this come from?
Yeah. It makes so much more sense the way they did it in the film.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of The Watchmen. It was alright. The comic book, that is.
Right.
The film blew me away.
Rorschach is super cool. He's so fucking cool, it's ridiculous. I love that character. But, alright. My favorite superhero or comic book movie, Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2.
Very strong.
Yeah. I love that movie.
That film, I think it would probably be my favorite if it weren't for the whole impotency storyline.
Yeah, that whole doctor scene, he's like, oh, my friend is dreaming that he's Spider-Man, he's losing his powers. Like, yeah, that scene really stupid. And so, yeah, that is the weakest part of the movie, aside from what's-her-name's acting. But I just love the movie. The action scenes, it's got two of what I think are the greatest Spider-Man action scenes, even these new movies, I don't care. The bell tower, or the clock tower.
The clock tower.
Right outside the bank, that's awesome. I think it's so cool. Like, he, takes his octopus arm and is like bashing his face into the just so cool. And then
that's when he's falling and he catches the clock hand.
Yeah,
and he's
yep. Oh, so good.
He's catching his Aunt May.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff are happening, and
I agree.
And Aunt May gets involved in the fight. Like, it's super cool. And then the train.
The subways.
Yeah. Oh god, it's so good, so good.
And really, yeah, that's one of my favorite cinematic scenes.
Yeah.
Just ever.
Yeah, it's super good.
Spider-Man, he has to take off his mask. He has to expose himself to the world because the mask got caught on fire.
Yep.
He saves everyone. In turn, everyone kind of saves him.
Yeah.
He passes out from the effort of stopping the train, and they all kind of, there's this, I don't know, angelic scene where everyone reaches around him, puts their arms on him, and they pull him up to the top of the crowd, and then they all set him down very gently. And he
wakes up. They give him his mask back and stuff. Like, yeah, it's so cool, so good. But yeah, Spider-Man 2, my favorite superhero movie. All right, what is your favorite non-geeky activity?
Favorite non-geeky activity?
Yes. So not board gaming or video gaming or...
I have to say smoking cigars.
Really? Just sitting there?
I love a good cigar.
Nice.
I'll hang out at a cigar shop like I will hang out at a board game shop.
Nice.
If I could find a cigar game shop, I would be in heaven. It kind of, the smell saturates the board games, so it kind of sucks. But yeah... I've been into cigars longer than I've been into board games.
Wow.
Yeah. Relaxing, sociable, not very geeky, but it can be.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get just as deep in the wrappers and the leaf and all that stuff.
Okay. Wow, I never would have thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, cigars. Oh, you just sit around in like a wooden room, like in Titanic, let's go drink brandy and smoke cigars and have man talk.
Yeah. There's a couple great cigar shops in town, and they have nice leather chairs, and you just buy your cigar and you can sit down and have a conversation and smoke a cigar, have a drink.
Nice, that's awesome. I would have never thought that.
It's very, very cool.
Yeah, very cool, huh? Would you have a favorite cigar, like brand or leaf or whatever you were saying?
My favorite cigar right now is Brick House. Cohiba's pretty good, actually. A little more expensive than Brick House, though.
All right. Well, my favorite non-geeky activity would be playing basketball.
Nice.
I love basketball. I grew up loving basketball. Michael Jordan, in the 90s. Charles Barkley, especially since he played for the Suns in the 90s. Dennis Rodman was a character. He was a good defensive player. Got those rebounds. So I actually used to play basketball a lot like Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. With purple hair.
I had some green hair because I was a super blonde as a kid. My hair is dark brown now. But yeah, when I was swimming, it would turn green. So I did have some green hair, but no. With Dennis Rodman's play, very aggressive. When he got his rebound, you don't just grab it. You grab it this is mine. You kind of you kind of swing your elbows around this is mine. Get the fuck away from me. Very aggressive, very physical, very defensive minded. I wasn't a scorer. I didn't score a whole lot, but I love playing basketball.
Keep him from scoring, huh?
Yeah, very defensive player. I love playing defense. I used to go to the basketball camp. We live here in Tucson, and up until not even 10 years ago, Lute Olson was the U of A basketball coach, and they have a summer basketball camp that was run by him. I mean, really just his name. He didn't really do anything, but I used to go to his camp. It was like a sleepaway camp. You actually got to stay on U of A campus, and I was 9, 10. Wow. So that was super cool, staying U of A campus for a week, playing basketball all day, every day. It was lots of fun. I love playing basketball. I don't really watch basketball that much anymore because football kind of took over as my favorite sport to watch, but I still love to play basketball. It's just the most fun to play, I think.
Cool.
But all right, here's a question. If you had to live in either the Marvel comic book universe or the DC comic book universe, which would you rather live in?
I mean, to be a human?
Yeah, just to live out your day.
I guess the Marvel universe, I mean, it all sucks. There's always buildings. I guess we're not going to see a lot of action in Tucson.
Right.
I don't think there's a lot of superhero fights in Tucson, Arizona, so I think we'd be okay over here. But yeah, I'd rather live in a world with Spider-Man and Captain America.
Yeah, well, I mean, who would have thought that Asgard is over Oklahoma?
Right. Shit like that.
Yeah, so, I mean, people living in Oklahoma we would never see any Marvel action. Oh, Asgard is floating above Oklahoma, so...
Plus, we've pretty much been one contiguous storyline, the entire time. Mm-hmm. Who knows how many lives we would have lived in the DC universe with all the
reboots.
The universe, the time resets, dimensional resets, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Life would be super confusing.
yeah, exactly. So
all these superheroes affecting our lives, motherfuckers.
Yep. Yeah, I think I'd rather live in the Marvel universe as well. Because there's a chance you could be a mutant and have some cool ability.
Right.
Or look like a freak, which I guess would be a downside. But
they never talk about the mutants that are useless, do they?
Yeah, not really. Yeah. I mean, sometimes because they're the ones that get picked on. And that's the whole thing. Mystique, she looks like a mutant, so she got picked on or whatever. But yeah, I think the Marvel universe would be more fun. And like you said, it was conceived as a single universe since the 60s.
Right.
DC was compiled of different comic books that they kind of just bought. So it was never conceived as Superman and Batman live in the same universe. It's no, Batman was this, Superman was that. Shazam was a rival to Superman, so they sued him, they won, and they're like, oh, well, let's bring him in, because we have the rights to him since we bought him. So it was never conceived as one big thing Marvel was. Except for Captain America was kind of brought in from the 40s. He wasn't.
Right.
But
that's true.
But most of it was conceived it's all one. The first Spider-Man comic, or maybe it was the first time we ever saw Spider. No, I think it was the first solo Spider-Man title. He interacted with the Fantastic Four. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it was actually conceived as one thing. So it feels more like one universe.
Yeah.
And DC doesn't. It seems very discombobulated. So yeah, I think the Marvel universe would be more fun. Like you said, Spider-Man, the X-Men. The Hulk, which would be terrifying. But the Hulk lives in the desert. Whenever he wants to get away, he comes to the desert. So
that's true.
But he could smash up some shit.
We're not near that desert.
No.
That's more like the Nevada.
Yeah. He's out in the boonies.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the Marvel universe would be a fun place to live. Well, more fun than DC.
What if your superpower was you can't get drunk? You're still affected by all the calories of booze. And it still tastes good, but you just can't get drunk.
Yeah, that'd be pretty terrible. They kind of brought that up in the Captain America movie. He was sitting there because his friends just died, and he's not getting drunk. He can't get drunk.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Let's say, what would be a useless mutant power?
Useless. No, there's all kinds of useless.
Like my eyes, they come out of my head, and I can lay on them.
Yeah,
and that's about it. They don't do anything special. I can't. They're just huge pillows that kind of blow out of my head.
Yeah, there could be some pretty useless ones. Those are all the ones in
my hair can never be clean. It's always dirty. It's a mutant power. Sorry. Yeah. My body repels soap. That's my mutant power. I just always smell.
Like down feathers repel water. You repel soap. Yeah, that would suck. That would really suck. Or only my earlobes can stretch real long.
Right, just my earlobes.
Yeah. I'm not like Mr. Fantastic where I can stretch anything. Only just my earlobes. That would suck. Yeah, there could be some pretty useless ones. Yeah.
That's a book I think we need. The useless X-Men.
Yeah, the useless mutants. That would be pretty funny.
Because they can't all be good powers, right?
No, Storm is the leader, or they make her the leader of the... I forget what they're called. But they live in the sewers because they're the freaks. They actually look like mutants, but they don't have any... Yeah, I think so.
I think they call them Morlocks.
Yeah. And she's the leader of them because she she beat their leader in combat or whatever, so she became their leader. But yeah,
they're kind of fucked up,
they all look weird. They look like aliens. They don't really have any special awesome abilities like shooting lasers out of their eyes or something like that. But so yeah, there are useless mutants in the Marvel universe already. Mm. We could probably come up with some even more useless ones. Or it's a power, but it's a really crappy power. Almost like that movie with Ben Stiller.
The Mystery Men?
Mystery Men, yeah. Right. He can only be invisible when you're not looking.
Uh-huh. And he was.
Well, yeah.
It totally worked, but why would you believe that?
Yeah, when you're not looking, I just became invisible. You didn't see it because you weren't looking. But I did it. Yeah. All right, well, those are just some questions that we came up with just to let the listeners know what our favorite things are and stuff. So yeah, very interesting. I never would have guessed that you were a cigar aficionado.
Not an aficionado. I enjoy cigars.
Right. Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't know much about them.
Well, let's get into the board game news.
One thing they're coming out with third quarter of this year is Star Trek Ascendancy, and it looks like a pretty cool exploration combat game. So you have different races. You have, what do you call it? The Federation. You have Romulans, and you have Klingons. So each one's going to take one faction, and you're exploring the universe and trying to take over territory. Cool. You can take territory from other players. And Gale Force 9. So it should be decent. Gale Force 9 made the Firefly game, which is very popular. They made a couple other properties, Spartacus and stuff like that, which didn't go over too well, but they did pretty well with Fireflies.
Did you know which time frame it's supposed to be set in? The Kirk era, the Picard
era? It's actually, Kirk era. It's it's kind of like that beginning era where they were all at war.
Okay, yeah. Well, cool. I love Star Trek, so...
Well, there's actually quite a few good Star Trek games out there. Another thing I saw was they're making a Dark Souls board game. The super challenging video game, Dark Souls.
Okay.
They're making a co-op board game. It can be 1 to 4 players. It's player versus the game. It looks like it's going to be pretty interesting. The company that makes it, they haven't made a lot. They've made one other board game that I've never seen or played. But the miniatures look fantastic. They look a lot like the video game monsters that you fight. It looks like it's going to be a combat system, and you're going to have a stamina economy that you have to allocate properly to defeat the monsters, or you'll lose. So it seems like a pretty challenging strategy game.
Nice.
Looking forward to seeing what it's going to be like.
All right. What was it called again?
Dark Souls.
Dark Souls. Okay.
Yeah.
Dark Souls.
It's a pretty popular video game. It's modern video game technology, really amazing graphics and rendering,
right.
And it kind of takes you back to the Nintendo type style of play, where it's very difficult. You have to memorize everything, and there's really no convenient save points.
Right.
If you get killed fighting this monster, You got to go all the way back to the middle of the level and fucking fight your way back to him.
Right.
Like, so it's super challenging gameplay like that.
Okay, cool. The Super Star Wars game.
Yeah.
They made one for all three
Super
movies.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, those games are so fucking hard.
So hard.
Oh my god, especially the first one. The second one, you know, Luke, you have a lightsaber because you're you're in training or whatever now. You have one, and then the third one you actually can use the Force more and stuff. So like they kind of get easier because you can do more. But that first one, you use a little tiny blaster.
Yeah. Like
I can't even get past the fucking first level, the sand crawler. Because it's so goddamn hard.
Yeah, I never got past the sandcrawler.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Everything, there's shit shooting at you from every direction. You have to dodge everything. You only have so many...
I mean, it starts out very benign. Like, you're in your speeder and you're shooting the Jawas in the desert. Yep. You're like, oh, okay, this isn't such a bad game. Like,
yeah, then you get to
a little challenging. And then you get in the sandcrawler and it's just like, holy fuck.
Holy crap, it's hard. It's ridiculous. And they only have like 3 lives. Like,
right.
Yeah, like before it's game over. It's just, it's insanely hard.
Yeah. So you remember how frustrating that was?
Yeah.
You can get back to that with new video games today.
All right, just better graphics?
Yeah, just better graphics.
All
absolutely.
Right, well, cool. That could be something I might check out. All right, well, let's get to the spotlight on a board game. We actually played 2 games together this week.
Absolutely.
They're both kind of similar, where there wasn't like a board or a player board really. And,
yeah, it's kind of player interaction. I think they call them deduction games.
Yeah. It was the second one was a lot more fun, but the first one, nobody in our group had played it before. Mm-hmm. We actually opened it for the first time. Had to punch out the pieces and stuff.
Yeah.
And
crisp new board game. It's called Hoax.
Hoax, that's right.
From Fantasy Flights.
Yeah.
This is actually 2nd edition. I can't remember when the original game came out. But if you've ever played Coup, it's kind of like that, except each player only gets 1 roll. But on your turn, you can choose any roll to get the bonus for. So each roll has their own special bonus.
Right.
And I can't remember them all specifically, but I think the gardener lets you... Well, what was it? The butler lets you take a resource and also lets someone else take a resource.
Right, yeah. You get to pick, like me and you... each get a resource of our choice.
Right.
Yeah, so different. And the whole setup is an old man died, a rich old man died, and we're all the relatives and stuff, in his will. Mm-hmm. And we all want to, we're there to claim whatever he left us.
Get a piece of the estate.
Yeah, exactly. And but it turns out nobody liked the old man, so we're all, nobody probably likes each other. It's I've seen this type of story, like even in a Supernatural episode. There was an episode like this, and where it's, somebody died and everyone wants a piece of it, but so there's different roles. There's the ex-wife, there's the lover, the son-in-law, the distant cousin, the gardener, the butler, and yeah. So like it goes around the table and each person says, "Oh, I am the butler." And you get to do your
so I will take
thing.
This action,
yeah,
right?
And or I am the distant cousin, so I get whatever it tells me to get, like 1 money or 1 clue or whatever.
Right.
And so there's 3 different resources. There's money, there's prestige, and it wasn't clues. Research. Mm-hmm. And so you get to choose, whatever your role says to get.
Right.
You're trying to get at least 1 of each of these 3 resources, but you spend those resources to try to figure out who the other people are. Because in the beginning, you actually get a designated role of these the aforementioned characters.
Yeah, there's only 1 of each. You're not going to have multiples of the same.
So I'm actually the butler, but I can say I'm the distant cousin and take that action.
Right.
Because I want that gold or whatever it tells me to get. And each time it comes back to you, you can claim to be whoever. You don't have to just choose the butler.
Right.
But then you spend those resources to be to figure out who you are. I want to figure out who you are. So there are these cards. It has 1 of each character. I want to try to figure out who you are. So you take that deck. I'm trying to figure out who you are. And what was that? It was called. It wasn't accusing. Accusing was, I think I know who you are.
It was investigation.
Investigation.
You take the investigation action.
Yeah, the investigation action is I'm trying to figure out who you are. So you take all the cards. You pull out who you actually are. Whatever character. Say you're the lover. You would take the lover out and then 3 random ones.
And add 3 random ones.
Yeah, and then shuffle them together. Then hand those 4 cards to me, so I can be like, okay, you're 1 of these 4 characters, because you had to pick the actual character secret character you are.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I know you're 1 of these, but you've chosen so many different roles in these last couple of rounds, so I don't know which one. and you're lying or telling the truth the whole time. So then you do that to other people or keep doing it to the same person, and those 3 random cards will be random. So you might get the same ones, you might get different ones, but one of them's always going to be constant.
One of them's always going to be that.
So you can kind of deduce like, oh, I've seen that one twice. Maybe he's that character.
Right.
And then there's the accusation. And
you take the accusation action.
Action, yeah. And so that's where you say like, I'm accusing you of being a certain character. So I would get that deck of cards and pick out the lover. I think you're the lover. So I'd hand it to you, and you either say yes or no when you look at it. Mm-hmm. If you are, you're not. You can't lie. You either say yes.
And if you say yes,
you're out of the game.
You're out.
If you say no, it's like, damn, I fucked up.
Well, then the person who accused you is out.
Right. Yeah.
So you better be sure who you're accusing.
Yes. But then there's another aspect of the game where, say it's my turn, and I'm like I am the son-in-law, and I'm going to take that action. Anyone else can be like, hoax.
I do not believe you're the son-in-law.
Exactly.
You're hoaxing us. Yeah. So everyone's going to vote, so we can have a conversation about whether we think you are the son-in-law or not.
Right. Yeah. You guys discuss he's lying. Like, look at his face, or he chose this other character before.
He said he was the butler the first turn, and then he said he was the ex the second turn. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's a son-in-law.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to vote thumbs up or thumbs down.
Right. And it's like the whole Roman gladiator thing. Like, do we kill him or keep him alive? Put your thumb up or down. And
so, if you think he is a son-in-law, you're going to vote thumbs up. And if everyone votes thumbs up, we think he's being honest, he gets to follow through with his action.
Right. Whatever the son-in-law action is.
Right. If everyone votes thumbs down, or if the majority vote thumbs down,
right,
then he won't get to do an action if he is not that character.
Right.
Now, if it turns out that you are the son-in-law and we all voted against you, you win the game instantly. Yep.
I thought that was a downfall of the game because it seemed like every single turn, I say, oh, I'm the gardener. Hoax. Someone will call hoax and we do a vote. And they're like, let's say I'm not. It's like, okay, I don't get my action. Mm-hmm. Then you choose I'm the lover. Hoax. It just seemed like every single turn we were calling hoax. So like, it seemed like by the second time it got around to somebody, they call hoax, but they were actually that character and they won the game. So the game never lasted very long.
Well, I think the last round we played, which I won by the way.
Yes, you did.
I think we finally got the hang of the game. I actually used the investigation actions to try to figure out who people were. Mm-hmm. I eliminated a character via that. I think I eliminated someone via the hoax action. So I think once you get used to all the mechanics,
it did
be a little deeper.
Yeah, it did. The game lasts a little longer now that we kind of understood.
But initially, everyone just wanted to call hoax just to fuck people over.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
Yeah. It made for a great time, lots of laughs. But yeah, it seemed like if you're gonna call hoax like every time, it's like, well, nobody's getting anything done.
Yeah. There's a lot of nuance. I think once you learn what people are playing and what actions are available to you, then it gets a little more dense. Mm-hmm. I think it's a decent party game. I like it better than Coup, which is one game I compare it to.
Right.
And I'd probably get it.
Yeah. It would be great for having a few drinks, with your friends and stuff to have a good time.
Absolutely. Not too deep. Not too light.
Yeah.
So, the second game we played was Spyfall.
Spyfall. I thought this game was much better. Okay. A lot more fun.
It was made by Cryptozoic. It came out in 2012. And
the same year as Skyfall.
Right. Same year as Skyfall. So they call it Spyfall. And it's actually a very popular game.
Nice.
It's done very well.
Yeah, basically you have like 20 different decks.
There's so many cards in the box.
And each separate little deck is based on a location.
Right.
So each location, there's
like a zoo.
But there's like 8 different cards per deck and a spy per deck.
Right.
So you kind of just randomly pick whatever deck. Nobody knows what it is. So you just go, this deck.
Right.
And you pull out the spy card. And then however many players there are.
How many other players there are.
Right, so there was 5 of us playing, so you pull out the one spy, because there's a spy in every round.
Right.
And then 4 more cards, because one person's going to be the spy, and then 4 other agents, is what they call it. So then you randomly pick, so nobody knows who the spy is, nobody knows what the location is. Mm-hmm. And the object of the game is the spy, based on the questions everybody's asking each other and the answers everybody's giving, the spy needs to figure out what location they're at.
Right.
Whether it be the zoo, the park, the university, the
corporate party.
The corporate party.
Which came up twice.
Which was ridiculously hilarious. And like a pirate ship, like all kinds of, there was like 20 different locations. What made it a little more difficult was the 4 players that weren't the spy. It wasn't just the zoo. You're just at the zoo. You are a different worker at the zoo or something.
You have a role at the location.
Right, yeah.
Everyone has a specific role at the location.
But what you're trying to do in the game is, everyone randomly picks, then we look at our cards, and because, the location is interesting, you have a role, you have to kind of familiarize yourself what kind of questions can I ask and answers can I give. So let's just stick with the zoo for right now. So we're at the zoo, and I'm the groundskeeper. Okay,
so you're looking the caretaker for the animals.
Right. So everyone's something different. And then we put the cards down so nobody can look anymore. And then we start asking questions. Let's say I go first, and I declare okay, Tabletop Tim, I'm going to ask you, is it loud in this location?
Right. And you don't know if I'm the spy, or if I actually work if I am where you are.
Right. So I don't want to straight up ask specific questions that'll give the location away, because the other agents don't want the spy to figure out where the location is.
Right.
But we're
also trying to figure out
who the spy
is by asking questions.
Yeah. So if I ask, it's an outdoor location, it's the zoo, and I ask, is it really loud? That's kind of a vague question. It could be loud anywhere.
Right.
So you're like, yeah, it can get kind of loud.
It could get loud here. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're the spy, you say something vague like that. It's like, well, yeah, it's a zoo. It can get loud. The animals can start making noise and stuff. There's lots of people at the zoo.
Or
things going on.
You could fuck it up if you're the spy.
Yeah.
You say, no, it's pretty quiet.
Yeah. So you're like, okay.
Most zoos aren't very quiet.
Yeah. Right? So based on the questions and answers, you can kind of figure out who's the spy, who's not the spy. But then because everyone has a different role, you can ask a question like, I remember we had the university once. In the game we played, and you asked me, do you work, are you inside or outside?
Inside or outside,
and I said, mostly outside, but I can go inside. And you kind of thought, well, that's a weird, because you were like a student or whatever your role was, so you're like, that's got to be inside.
I was a graduate student.
Yeah. So
at the university. It's like, we don't go outside.
Yes.
You're the fucking spy.
Yeah, but I was the security guard.
Right.
So they're securing the grounds outside, maybe going inside for whatever reason, but so I said mostly outside.
And that fucked me up.
Yeah, so you thought I was the spy.
I thought you were the spy.
Yeah. So based on your questions, you have to be specific enough to know, okay, that guy's not the spy. He gave a good answer. I know he's at the location.
Right.
But then you have to be vague enough to not give it away.
Exactly.
And one of the guys we were playing with, we were at the pirate ship, and so they asked, what do you see, or what do you hear when you close your eyes? And he said, well, it's kind of hard to hear with one eye.
He didn't say that.
But, that totally gave it away with one eye. It's probably pirates have,
and then
the whole
every
patch.
time he answered a question, he covered up his fucking eye from then on.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he was trying to play it off, or he was just trying to give it away.
Yeah, it was.
But
it made it very easy for the spy.
But that's kind of what's cool about it. I couldn't figure out what questions to ask whatsoever.
Yeah, it's hard coming up with vague enough questions.
Oh man, I was having a really difficult time with that game.
Yeah, it was hard.
But it was still funny and fun.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious. We had a great time. And at one time, I was the spy, so I had no idea what the location is. So I was looking at my card, pretending like I'm. Okay, I'll ask those questions. I'm just kind of looking at the card fuck, I'm the spy.
But the whole time in your head, you're like, I'm the spy.
Yeah,
fuck, I'm the spy.
But I got asked the first question.
Right.
It wouldn't be so bad if other people were being asked questions. So you can kind of get an idea. But I was asked the first question, so I gave a ridiculously bad answer that completely gave it away that I was a spy, and then I asked a ridiculous question that I asked what's the weather like, and it's an indoor location, so they're like, you're the spy, so it was hard being asked the first question when you're the spy.
Absolutely.
But it was loads of fun.
Yeah, that's just part of the game. So that's the gameplay. Basically, anytime you have 8 minutes per round.
Yeah, you know, we kind of varied it up. You can kind of do whatever you want.
I think 8 minutes was actually optimal. We started with less time, and it just wasn't enough, so we went to the full 8 minutes.
Right.
So anyone can stop the round at any time to try to vote. If I believe you're the spy, I can stop the round and call a vote saying that you're the spy.
Right, and we can discuss like why, like look at the answers he gave, you know, the questions he asked, or the spy can be like, I'm gonna, you know, you guys are at whatever location, and because
the spy can stop it at any time.
And because there are so many locations in the rule book, it has like a picture and title of everything. Right. So to be fair, because you can't just be like, you know, I remember every single location, like, you know. No. So
there's a page that shows each and every location.
Yeah, so you get a chance to kind of look through, because, you know, you might think like, oh, they're at like a park, but there's no park. It's an amusement park.
Right.
So like, you know, they get a chance to kind of look through all the different locations, be like, you know, like, I know it's something like this, like what actual locations are there? Like, oh, that's the one, you're at that. You know, you may be right or wrong, but yeah, so like, it was just loads of fun, lots and lots of laughs.
Yeah. Lots of laughs. Just a good little deduction game. Confusing and silly, and they actually have a sequel out now. There's plenty of promos, and they have a second one that came out this year, so there's plenty of locations.
Yeah, I had a ton of fun playing that game.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was our board game shop adventure.
Yeah. I'm trying to get down there every week so we can discuss these games together.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yep.
2 weeks so far.
Yeah. I'm going to try to get this episode posted as soon as possible because I'm going out of town.
Yeah.
But we should be able to record next week, and hopefully I can get this done before I leave, the editing. I don't know exactly when it's going to be posted. So there might be a gap between episodes and stuff, and then there might be two real close together.
Don't keep our fans waiting, man.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll try to get
the whole army out there waiting for our next podcast.
Yep, all like 2-3 listeners.
Exactly.
we didn't set a movie this week, so you know, I thought it was a good opportunity to just kind of ask some questions, get to know.
Absolutely, that was fun.
Yeah, I like that. Just general questions and stuff. But yeah, next week or whenever we reconvene, whenever I get back from going out of town, we will predetermine a movie for then. I'm definitely going to see The Jungle Book, which at the time of this recording comes out tomorrow. Like I said, I'm super looking forward to that movie, so I'm definitely going to see it, and I'll probably
look forward to your review.
Yes, I will bring that up in our next podcast.
I'm not going to go watch it.
But we'll figure out something to watch and discuss together, and I will definitely bring up the Jungle Book because I'm super excited. We'll figure out because I might not be able to get to the board game shop before our next recording, so we'll figure out something to talk about with that.
Try to get a review for what I played this week.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do you sat in on Time Stories. Maybe I'll go.
When I got to the board game shop, you were towards the end of a game, and it looked very. What was that Tom Cruise movie? Oblivion. Very white, sleek, clean. Yeah, very sci-fi. So it looked interesting. It was very co-op from what I saw.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but we'll have definitely a lot to talk about next time, since I'll be seeing a movie in theaters, and we'll talk about some other movie as well, and try to get together for a board game depending on when I get back.
I'll probably watch like 10 movies from now to then. I'm always watching films. So.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and I don't post it on Facebook near enough for what I watch. But yeah, you can find us at SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/geequilibrium, on YouTube at youtube.com/user/moviemastermike, on Facebook at facebook.com/geequilibrium, and facebook.com/geequilibrium1. So you can check us out on all those different avenues. We post written reviews on the YouTubes, or on the Facebook side. I post these podcasts to YouTube just to get them out there, and maybe we'll do a few videos here and there in the future.
In the near future?
Yeah, maybe do some actual board game reviews on camera, so you get to see the pieces and things like that. So
it'll be much easier to describe when I can show you.
Yes,
what
exactly,
I'm talking about.
exactly. So maybe we'll do like just segments on that, not like a full-on like podcast video, but just specific things on video.
Right.
So yeah, we'll start branching out and do different things and continue with this podcast because it's a load of fun.
Yeah, having a good time.
Yeah, so you can check us out on all those things and tune in next week or the next time.
Next time.
Yeah, next time, because I don't know exactly when it's going to be, but
unspecified bat time, unspecified bat channel.
Yes, exactly. So tune in at that time. And until then, we are your hosts, Movie Master Mike
and Tabletop Tim,
reminding you to speak your geek
and balance your geek
with Geequilibrium.